Hey everybody, it's Odie Coyote here with Mixed Country 106. Welcome to the channel. Very much appreciate each and every one of you guys being here each and every week. Boy, do I have some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. It's probably a bit controversial, and I want to let you guys know in certain circumstances where this might be helpful. Of course, what I'm talking about today is our one and only Behringer Wing console that you can see over here on my shoulder. And I want to talk to you guys today about how this can be the best console for the money for broadcast radio in particular. And why do I think that that's the case? Well, I've actually got a few reasons that I want to outline for you guys today. And hopefully, if this seems like a logical solution for you guys, hopefully it can save you guys quite a bit of money as you prepare to either update your studios or look for alternatives and just maybe want to upgrade but have more functionality, but do it in maybe a non-traditional sense. But my argument today is that this console can do everything a broadcast console can do, even better in some cases. So what do you say we get on and talk about that? Now, the Behringer Wing, what is it? Well, it's technically a music-oriented console. It's not something that is probably well known in the broadcast industry. It's better known for music and bands, and I've seen this console used from churches to actually big festival events. It's really versatile in the music space, but it has almost everything you could want in a broadcast sense, including 4 program outputs, 16 bus outputs for like monitors or other mixes and things like that. Let's see, 8 matrices. You have 40 stereo channel inputs. You got a whole effects array, so you can do all kinds of processing with the voice and compression and things like that, making it sound good. You have A/B inputs, so you can flip between source A and source B on a dime. Your solo, aka Q, you can route to an actual bus. And I just want to show you a few of those features today and just show you how easy using the Behringer Wing could be. Now, a lot of broadcast consoles from Axia to Wheatstone, Arrakis, I mean, to get 8 channels, you can spend up to $5,000-$6,000. And maybe if they give you a USB interface, you can get maybe 2 or 3 stereo outputs in some of them. Now, a lot of people like the Rodecaster Pro, and that's a great console, actually. I've seen a lot of broadcasters use it because it's kind of marketed to that in these content creators, things like that. But I think that the Behringer Wing gives you a big bang for the buck, a full-size desk console, all the bells and whistles you could want, and I think that it could do a really cool job. So what do you say we type on over and take a look at exactly what the Behringer Wing is capable of, shall we? I've got a mobile cam now. All right, so looking at our console from left to right here, we can see up at the top we have all of our labels here. So a lot of these are geared to me and what I do for my work day to day, but there's a lot that are really applicable to a lot of people. You can see I've got mics for producer Raven. Each of us actually has 2 microphones. I've got the mic that you're seeing me talk to you on right now over here on the far left here. That's my what I call the conference microphone. It's what I use when I'm doing calls or things like that when I don't want to use a headset. I've also got an H mic, that's my headset mic. I've got a boom mic, which is, actually I'll show you guys up here, right there. That's my boom mic. And then aside from that, let's see, I've got Raven's headset mic. Raven's got a boom mic. I've got a vocal mic that I keep in a closet. I've also got a wireless mic in the room, and I got a mic that I use for vocals. All of that, some of the times on a lot of broadcast consoles, you can't even get that many channels for like microphone inputs. So, and especially when I tell you what the cost is later on, so stick around for that. Now over here, you can see, this is really cool. So you've got my ODPC main, ODPC air, ODPC calls. So I can differentiate my channels because I'm using Dante. And Dante is an audio networking protocol that you can use to get audio throughout your network. And of course, one thing about broadcast consoles right at the bat that you're thinking, well, it doesn't have an on button. If you can get over the idea of, well, okay, I don't have, an on button, but I got a mute button, and that if it's red, that means it's muted, and then if it's not, that means it's good. If you can get over that, then I think you might have, get over these kind of like little nuances that make a broadcast console. And let's see. The other cool thing is, like I said, I've got multiple layers here. So I can come down here. You can see these are all I've got some aux media. Now you can see I go into what I call my studio channels. So I've got mixed deck players. I've got a net player, quick key player. I got a cue player. I got a monitor player. And then you can see I've got another station. This is my test bench, Worship Radio Live. And I've got channels for all of those too. Go to my third layer. You can see I've got USB returns in case I want to do USB recording. I got some auxiliary stuff here. And then, of course, I can get to my buses and all of that on all these layers. So really handy in that regard. Over here, I got my buses. So you guys can check that out. 16 buses. And so I've got all my mics feed into a mic processing bus. And then that mic processing is actually then what feeds to the outputs. That way I can kind of keep all the EQ, everything pretty much the same. I do very little on the channel strip itself. In fact, if we come over and we take a look at the screen, let me try and do this. A little weird. Because the way I'm using the camera right now is I'm actually not able to see it on my phone. But hopefully it looks good to you guys here. I'm trying to look on a side monitor so I can see what I'm doing. But anyway, so on my mic channel here, all I'm doing, if I come down here, I have a little bit of a gate, pretty light, not very aggressive on the gate, but just enough. I've got an EQ. You can see I'm doing so little, just some high and low pass filtering. That's it. That's all I'm doing on my mic level. And over here, just a mild compressor, not doing too much. I get really vocal sometimes, and sometimes it needs to kick in. But you can see that yellow line doesn't quite even get up to the threshold even when I'm kind of talking really loudly or whatever. Anyway, nothing here. And then, like I said, I don't route anything directly to the main outputs. I do mount just one thing to a bus. I could have something else go to the other effects bus, like I said, for that, but that one's muted, which is really nice. So then obviously I can go and see then, okay, well, here's the bus over here. This is my mic processing and then a mic effect. I keep the mic effect muted most of the time, but then if I hit on my mic processing, you can see that its output, it's got a few that it goes to, including just my broadcast one. I've got a live stream out one, and I've got some other like matrix ends that it goes out. So these are all different outputs that it can go out. Sorry, just really hard to grab this here, and I know on camera sometimes it doesn't show up the best, so my apologies on that. But yeah, this is essentially how things route, and that's what's really cool and what's really powerful is, today you've got a lot of things that have to get sent out to, all these different locations. So what's nice about what I'm doing is I can send things out. I can have a completely separate mix for my main broadcast out. And because live streaming and recording and all that are such a big deal these days in broadcast, I can separate my mics out. That's why over here you see I've got my broadcast main out, and then I've got a live stream out if I was live streaming. So that's one thing I really enjoy, is being able to dictate which output I want my mic to go to very, very easily. And just to show you guys, like when I'm at work or something like that, that's how I mostly am using this. But if I need AB input, let me go up one layer. Sorry. If I need to go up one layer here, I've got a button over here that's pre-programmed that I can easily send over from my Studio AB. So when I click this button right here, sorry, and then we come back over here, watch this. So all these are about to switch. You see how it just switched, and now it says laptop main, laptop air, laptop calls. Same thing. I can just flip back and forth between these, especially when I'm going to work or when I'm using my main computer. And again, all of it routed over Dante. Let me show you what this looks like on the channel level. So on here, if I go to this layer right here, you can see my main A comes from one card source from Dante, and then my B comes from another card source on Dante. So that's how I'm able to switch it. And with this global thing tabbed over here, that's what I'm doing, is anything that's set on global, I can do. So once you get this all set up, it makes it so nice and easy for your broadcasters and everything to be able to kind of control things. And you get so many custom keys here. Now, I haven't done this. This is purely theoretical. But you could try to get like MIDI to TCP, and even send commands to your automation software with these custom keys here on the side. And then again, we were talking about the outputs. Check this out. So this is my absolute favorite. These are all of my stereo outputs here. Sorry, just trying to make sure you guys can see this. So I've got my broadcast main, I've got my live stream, and I've got a recording main out that I've got. And right now I'm just using the recording. Whoops, sorry. Trying to keep my phone steady for you guys. And it's really hard because I'm actually holding it on kind of a monopod just so my finger doesn't get in the way. And again, my phone screen's off while it's recording over onto my broadcast software. So apologize for that. But yeah, you can see here I've got that. And I can route any layer to anywhere on the board. This is just how I've got it. But in addition to these, I've got other ones that I can route. So these then get to my matrices. So like I've got a studio monitor output, I've got my Den audio output, my broadcast meters, which aren't even on right now because nothing's really sending to them. And then I've got what I call my voice track channels. That's what that PO1 VT is. So that's just an output when I'm getting ready to, well, voice track. And I need to have, just my voice or just certain microphones routed to an output. And be able to record and do all of that. So, like I said, really nice. And again, I can have all kinds of custom layers here. This can go up into here, and then you can see I'm not really using them all, but you can have all kinds of custom layers. Touch-sensitive dials to adjust certain things. I just love it. This is just a really nice console. And now, I think I'll take you guys back over to me. I'm just going to talk quickly about, I've shown you some of the features of this console. But now let me talk to you guys about what really sells this thing. And yeah, it's probably what you think it is. Price. All right. So yeah, price. What about it? A lot of consoles, and I'll try and pull some up on screen here from either Axia, Wheatstone, Airlight even. They can cost $5,000-$6,000 and not give you half of what this board is able to give you. And I'm not taking anything away. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story here. When I was at the TAB show last year, Texas Association of Broadcasters Convention, I was drooling over some of the stuff Wheatstone had. I loved seeing that stuff. I'm a geek at heart when it comes to that. And I'm not taking anything away from broadcast consoles. But what I'm saying is, like, if you want to get a bang for the buck and you're willing to break the mold of what a traditional broadcast console is, certainly the Behringer Wing behind me is a great candidate. I'll tell you guys another quick story here, and it's something that I'm really intrigued by and something that kind of surprised me a little bit. But in my day job, full disclosure, I work for a company called Air, and I am a customer support specialist with them. And oftentimes I use the same webcam here that you guys are watching me on to do my video conferences with clients, whether for trainings, maintenances, updates, or just general calls. And obviously the console is always behind me. And so with the console being behind me, one thing that, customers always notate is they go, "What's that thing? What is that?" And then, of course, I'll pan over and I'll show them, "Oh yeah, that's my Behringer Wing console over there. Wow, I've never seen that before." Because they live in the broadcast space, and they aren't really like in tune with what is otherwise known as a music console. But I think I've demonstrated all the core features and everything that demonstrate that this could function in a broadcast environment and give you and your team some really flexible tools that could really extend and enhance what you guys do on air. And here's the best part. The Behringer Wing can be bought for under $5,000. Has 8 onboard mic preamps that you can use. Has auxiliary inputs that you can also use. You can also get stage boxes that use AES 50. So if you guys are familiar with the old Wheatstone stuff, like the really old stuff, like the D series and all that, you know that it used to use AES 50. Now with this console, I say might sometimes, Behringer still uses AES 50. In fact, there's 3 of them on here. They can give you 48 by 48 channels out in and out each way on each one of those ports. Plus, I have the Dante card installed, which gives me 64 inputs and outputs routing out. That is insane to get that much. So, and I've got a stage box connected that's got a cable that goes all the way over into the other room for other instruments and things that I might want to have in my home studio. That was really important to me when I built this thing. So, yeah, like I said, under $5,000 for this Behringer Wing, and you get a lot of the same things that you get in a broadcast console. One argument, and I'm not going to try and disprove it. I'm going to let you have your own thoughts on this, but I'll share you my experience. One common complaint, and I actually asked this to one of the people over at Wheatstone. I said, what really makes up the difference between a music-oriented console and a broadcast-oriented console? And they said reliability, the way it's built. And that is probably true to some extent. There's a lot of consoles that are probably fairly cheaply made. But one thing I asked, because some consoles will have a recommended daily usage limit, like so many hours per day to keep it on or run it. And I actually asked Behringer, I emailed their support one time, and I asked, does this thing have like a allocated runtime, like you're not supposed to run it? And they said there are installations where they keep it on 24/7. Now, the way I counteract this, and obviously the longer you leave a piece of equipment on, the sooner it's going to wear out, right? And so broadcast consoles in many traditional sense are designed to be on 24/7. Now, one thing I'm not going to show you guys, I haven't cleared this through my boss yet, but I'd love to show you. One way I get around this and allows me to shut my console off at night when there's no one in the studio, there's no one live, it's just running in pure automation all night, right? Is I use a tool from a company I work for with Air and Playout One called Audio Engine. And what I can do is when I'm not running live, like right now even, I'm not running my broadcast audio off my board. It's just running virtually out straight from the automation system to the encoders. In case you can also do like your straight to your transmitter path and just bypass your console altogether. Ergo, you could turn your Behringer Wing off at night, which saves power, it saves electricity. You don't have to keep it on all the time. You can you can reduce the risk of your talent accidentally bumping a fader or someone hitting a button. You pretty much just it's kind of a win-win in my mind. So if you're able to use a tool like that, and just like I said, full disclosure, I work for the company, but it really is a great tool. But if you can use a tool that offloads that audio routing when it's just pure radio station automation off onto the software base, and that way you can turn your console off, extend its lifespan of it, and not need to have it on. I think it's kind of a win-win. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is great. I'm very happy with my purchase. The only thing for me I would do is if they come out officially, which I've been hearing lots of rumors that's going to come out, the Behringer Wing rack, which is a rack-mounted console, and you just use a piece of software to control it. That leaves a whole nother discussion, but we'll touch on that maybe on a later day. But I would probably go with that because I am a somewhat smaller studio. I don't have quite the same requirements as some others do, and I think there's a lot of other, especially internet broadcasters, that are kind of like me. You just don't have that same requirement. But if this thing looks like a good fit for you, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you think this is a terrible idea and that you should never use this type of console in a broadcast environment. Let me know your thoughts. I really do want to hear them. And for us, though, it's been working fine, and we've had this console in our studio for a year and a half now, and it's been phenomenal. Well, thanks, guys, so much. I appreciate it. My name is Odie Coyote with Mixed Country 106, here to help both our on-air, keep promoting on-air talent, our artists that we promote on the station, and, of course, videos like this that help fellow broadcasters out in the industry. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.